Good Friday, my friends and relations. It is the 11th of the 12th month of the year in 2020. That means we've made it through 9 months and we're still here. I think that's worth a drink. So cheers to you, my friends. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining me here today. What are we going to do today? I think we're going to draw some cars. We're going to draw some cars because cars are awesome. And thank you, my friend Felix Holst, for reminding me that drawing cars is a hell of a lot of fun. Felix used to design toy cars for Matchbox. And I got to meet him many years ago, and he does really beautiful artwork. Maybe I can pull up his Instagram. Let's see. I'm going to type Felix. He has a wonderful accent. London. He would be specific on which part of England his accent is from, but he seems like a person whose accent fits him appropriately, which I think would be fun. Yeah, I think I found it. I think I found it. Hold on. Here we go. There he is. Here's that stud muffin with a bass guitar. Gener gentlemanly. Gentlemanly. Look at this great little sketch he posted. Gonna give Felix a shout out. Felix Holst. Dude is also a hot rod designer, builder guy. Look at him draw. This is so cool. I like this time-lapse thing. I might have to do a time-lapse thing in the future. He's using some fancy kind of pen. Look at that camber on that back wheel there. This person knows how to draw cars. And the exaggeration in it reminds me of Jake Parker a little bit. I think it's Jake Parker, the guy who started Inktober. We love Felix's stuff. Look at these great paintings. Look at this beautiful painting he does. Fun. Felix Holst. Nice. Nice. Dude, I want a rally car someday so bad. This is cool. He's got like a stencil thing made and doing some spray paint. Oh, there he is. He's painting. This is so cool. So I'm just getting into the Instagram thing here now, friends and relations. Look at this. This is so cool. I always wanted to be able to draw like this, but I never took a proper class in industrial or transport concept design. So everything I draw is just kind of based on what I see, not based on any specific instruction. Other than the one time I got to sit in a Fang Zoo class. All right, let me know if you're here. Pop in, say hello. Say hello, let me know what's going on. Okay, it's so easy to get distracted looking at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the social media things. Let's rearrange my website here. Let's get to drawing, because that's what you're all tuned in for, right? That's what you're tuned in for. Happy Friday. Tom is caffeinated. Dude, they only have light roast, and it's really strong. I also have water in the old Yeti. Staying hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying a new theory in my own life with diet and exercise and stuff, and we're going to see how it works out. But the basis of the theory, this isn't grounded in anything, is that the human body is about 70% water, and we probably should consume like 70% water of our day. We probably of the volume of things we put into our body, besides air, of course, probably should drink a lot more water, have more soup or like fruits that are combined in water. Now, that's just a theory. Am I actually going to follow through with that? Probably not. But we like to think about these kinds of things, don't we? So when we're drawing transport, what are we doing? We're mostly doing a mass conception of a rectangle or a cube or a tube. So it's good to warm up and draw some of our mass conceptions, get the blood flowing, get the elbow to move around a little bit. Be dramatic. You might be wondering, Tom, where have you been, dog? Where have you been? I took a trip. I was on a little mental retreat and I had a good time. Came back. I want to be a better listener. Something I'm thinking about. Wanting to be a better listener and a better friend through being an audience. Something that stuck in my craw over the summer was the whole like silence is violence slogan. And that just, you know, it smelled fishy at the time, and I started listening to the audiobook 1984 by George Orwell, and they have these weird slogans too, these weird contrarian slogans in this dystopic socialist communist version of England. And they have phrases like freedom is slavery and war is peace or peace is war, something like that. And it's this contrarian stuff. And I think the book goes into, I'm only like a few chapters in, but it seems like the government is trying to confuse the people in order to keep them in line. Confuse the people, tell them they're in line, whatever. Let me know how the stream is. Let me know how it sounds. Let me know what you're up to today. Thanks for hanging out. For those on YouTube, I appreciate you watching this too. Feel free to comment. I check my comments about once a week, and I am happy to give feedback or talk in email. If you guys want to just have a conversation, COVID is a time to build new pen pals. We're going to bring back that pen pal thing. Before the internet, before hanging out in chat rooms, it was kind of encouraged in my elementary school to do like writing pen pal stuff with people, like random people through the mail, right? God, that's something I should bring back. In honor of my buddy B. B used to write handwritten letters to people. And B, if you watch this, man, I still think about that. I think it was really cool that you wrote handwritten letters to people. I haven't written a handwritten letter to anybody in forever, mostly because my handwriting's so terrible. I don't want to put someone through the labor of having to, hieroglyphically deconstruct my chicken scratch into some kind of logical sentence. So it would just be too much work. My preferred communication style are these short and sweet little messages on Facebook or something like that. Sometimes I email people. For those holdouts out there who don't have the Facebook and who don't text message, I'll write them an email and send a link to stuff. Take a little video of what I'm up to if I'm on a hike, and then share that in the Google Drive. So, okay, a lot of you out there might be struggling right now. Hey, there's new lockdowns. It's December. Pennsylvania, Maryland announced new lockdown orders. I'm actually optimistic. I think this summer, hopefully, a lot of you out there have figured out what your bubble is, who you can actually hang out with, who do you trust. Maybe you had like a huge network of people you used to hang out with, like 300-400, and now you have to bring it down to like 3 or 5. Hopefully you still have those people. Hopefully you still have your family. Hopefully you've gone through the worst and the most of what's going on. And we know how to survive through the winter. It's still going to be freaking hard. But I think the internet is actually this great tool that we have versus previous pandemics and previous crises, where people can still hang out on Zoom. We can hang out in these virtual spaces, and it's not ideal, but it does like take the edge off. I did a Zoom call with some friends last night, and we had a really good time just chatting and chilling. Something I'm learning you have to do is listen. On Zoom, you just have to be a little bit more patient. It doesn't work for TV broadcasts so well. Doesn't work so well for TV broadcasting because there's a gap in the conversation. But when you're with friends, is that such a big deal? Is that such a big deal? When I was working at the X Games for my sister, we had a lot of radio protocol stuff that we had to be made aware of, like keeping off the radio, because the most important thing was listening for an important call. Like broadcasting and talking all the time was not your job. There's only one person who was in charge of broadcasting like the critical information or something. But the idea in general is just because you have a radio, don't talk on it all the time. It's there to be a listening device in case of an emergency, or broadcast in case of an emergency. It's there like as an insurance policy. You really shouldn't be on it all the time. So from that point of view, maybe it's, we should think about listening more. But who am I kidding? I love to talk. I love to talk, and I like hanging out with people who love to talk, who love to share, who love to express themselves. That's pretty fun, as long as they're not too annoying, right? Right. Your homework assignment tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning into the podcast, get out your sketchbook, get out your journal, whatever it is. It could be loose leaf paper, it could be it could be papyrus, ancient papyrus that you resurrected from the valleys of Egypt. And I want you to write down what annoys you and what is a healthy way to deal with that annoyance. What's a healthy way to deal with that annoyance? If it's somebody, is there a healthy and kind way to say, look, friend, I love you, but what you're doing right now is really annoying. Can you stop doing that? Or maybe you just want to run from it. Like, I'm going to go get a coffee. Shout out to my friend Josh Hardy, who I worked with. Fun guy, really funny, really funny. And he used to get like on these rants at work, and he would just be ranting. And so like there was no way to snap him out of it unless he said, "Let's go get a coffee." Hey man, let's go to Starbucks. Oh yeah, let's go to Starbucks. Oh, that sounds great. Let's go get a coffee. That's the only way to change the subject with Mr. Hardy. Love you, Josh. If you tuning into the Tomcast, you're probably not tuning into the Tomcast. Josh is probably watching his 4 million kids right now. Those Italians, those Italian Catholics. All right, so this is a fun warm-up car. Let's do another one. Let's move that over there. And can I go full screen? Let's change up the color background a little bit. This blue is kind of sad. Let's make it more exciting. Let's put some like pink. I don't know. Will this be fun? Ooh, yeah, that's fun. This is a very Felix color. This salmon color. I feel like Felix is into it. I always thought the Union Jack was cool. The British flag. I mean, I know it's a complicated symbol for a lot of people. What is it? It's a blue field, right? And then is it white? Is it the white cross? It's got something like that, and then like a red. Maybe it's a red cross with white outlines, something like that. Is that what it is? It's kind of fun to work from memory sometimes, just to see how strong or how weak your memory is, and then compare. This feels right, doesn't it? This is starting to feel pretty good. So we have the red cross and the white cross, and then the blue field, I think, is like the symbolism of it, because the red cross was one group of people and the white cross was a group of people, like the Normans and the Saxons or something like that. Say hi if you're out there. It's so quiet. Okay, what else we want to draw? Let's draw. Felix does these like front point of view stuff. It's good to have some reference. I have on my desk a car for just these occasions. I think this is a Mustang. On the back it says Shelby. I don't know if it won't. I disabled the focus on it. It's kind of cool. Nice little doors that open up. This is now feeling like a Nut and Fancy video where he talks about a toy for a little bit just to get the juices going, and then pops into another diatribe or something. Who doesn't love show and tell? Let's bring show and tell back. I think that would be a really fun format for a Zoom hangout. We're going to do Friday show and tell. And that's something you could do among your friends, and you can show off your toys. And I think it's better to show off your toys among friends where you can get feedback instead of just on Instagram where you're bragging about how much wealth and opulence and success you have, for the most part. I don't know. I could be wrong about that because I like looking at rich people's stuff too. Come to think of it. So take that back. Okay, car from the point of view of the front. So perspective box that's coming towards us. So this will be the closest area here. Visualizing a box coming towards us, 2-point perspective. This angle is going to go that way, and this angle is retreating back that way. I'm a very sloppy line artist. Some people are very tight with their lines and very thoughtful, where they'll think about what they're going to make, the mark they're going to make first, and then mark it down. I'm more of just express and think as I'm doing it. Very improvisational. Ladies and gentlemen, something else I want to work on is talking slower, leaving a bigger gap between my words. So let's, this is, again, very inspired by Felix Holst. Felix, if you're out there, please correct me if I'm saying your name wrong. I think it's Holst. Talented dude, friend of my sister and her husband out in California. So I'm thinking of, it's not a totally flat surface. I want to round this surface, give it a little bubble to it. So there's going to be some foreshortening on the cab part of the vehicle. It's pretty cool. This is already pretty fun. Yes, it's feeling pretty good. It's feeling a lot better than I usually do. Thank you, Felix, for inspiring me to do some doodling with dudes. That sounds like a euphemism. Doodling, not to be confused with diddling. Doodling. Got some badge. This is gonna be. I'm digging this. This is like the true Felix angle. So I might take this and like riff on it a little bit. I'm getting excited, ladies and gentlemen. Getting excited. It should be a public post today. So I got my eraser out. I'm gonna erase a little bit of that. All right, let's copy this. Let's take this and put it on a new layer. Control X for cut. Control V paste. And let's blow it up. Let's make it big. Let's take the background sketch and get rid of that. Let's take this little Union Jack flag and copy paste that up in the corner. That's fun. Why not? Merge that down is Control E. And then let's take the marquee tool, which is M, and just use V plus Alt and move. That is a way to quickly copy something. Boom. Good. Okay. This is a little Felix inspired thing. What's up, dog? He's here. That is awesome. I got your attention. I love your drawings, Felix. I love them. They get me fired up. Felix says, is there a Union Jack on there because of me? Absolutely, yes. Felix says, you are saying my name right. Excellent. Yeah, this is a little drawing in honor of your dope Instagram. Felix, I was showing your Instagram off a minute ago, maybe before you joined. Love your stuff, dude. Yeah, Molly owes me a phone call right now. Haven't heard from her in a little bit. Just got back from Denver, was doing a little drawing, little brainstorming some character stuff for a new project, and just gonna draw in honor of your dope Instagram drawings today, man. How are you? Tell me, how's the family? What you working on? How's your COVID? Dude, and are you watching The Mandalorian? I'm really jazzed about Disney's announcements. We're getting all kinds of TV. When I was a kid, I used to want to work for Disney, work on Star Wars, and I had some people saying, "You'll never work on Star Wars. You're not that good." And now I'm like, dude, who wouldn't, who can't, who isn't working on Star Wars? There's so much Star Wars being made right now. I can easily imagine every single Hollywood person is working on some aspect of Star Wars. They announced 10 new series. 10. That's crazy. Cheers, Felix, man. I hope you have a great day. This is awesome. Yeah, man. Have a great day. I know you're busy out there. Thanks for tuning in. Straw cards, drawing stuff. Felix says, COVID sucks, but it's given me plenty of time to sketch oddball cars. Well, I love your drawings. I think you all out there, if anyone's watching this Tomcast and has some money just sitting in their pocket, not doing anything, you can go buy one of Felix's wonderful paintings. Let's just show that again for everybody. Instagram. Go to Felix's Instagram. Give him a shout out while he's watching, just so everyone knows. Yeah. So here's Felix, and he's got some paintings, I think, for sale. Yeah, there we go. So he's selling. What is the website for this? You can write it down. Maybe people can check it out. Paintings. Those are pretty dope. I would love if I had some bank, I would definitely put a Felix painted rally car above my bed. Maybe on the ceiling. I just wake up and look at a Land Rover. How dope. Land Cruiser? Land Rover? Land Rover. They're so pretty. So pretty. I love that Top Gear episode with the Land Rover, where they're driving a Land Rover against a British Challenger 2 tank. I just thought that was like pretty dope. Let's get some color on here quick before it dissolves too much. Let's get some color underneath here. Dude, I'm thinking about Steve McQueen right now. I'm thinking about that movie Bullet. So we got a little sky reflection up top. I like throwing a little purple in honor of my friend Joe. A little purple in the wheels. It's always good, ladies and gentlemen, to throw a little bit of color into your blacks to keep it alive. So a little purple, a little blue, whatever you can do. I saw a really interesting, neat way to show black, which it might start with black, but you can do like a blue, like a zigzag blue and a zigzag red, and it like still feels like black. Like something about this contrast going on makes it like feel like a rich, oily black. Felix says that one's sold, but I've just done some prints of the green Porsche. Dude, is the right way to say Porsche or Porsche? And do the English say it different than the Americans do? Is like, I would imagine the higher class in society you live in, the more you emphasize the E on the end of that Volkswagen brand. I had some Volkswagen stock for a hot minute. I was thinking after the recall of the diesels, because I don't know if you know this, Felix, but I'm a VW fan. I got a TDI. I got a limited edition Jetta Cup Edition TDI. Big fan of the GLI. I think my next car might be a GLI, but I don't have any money right now. So someday I might get a GLI. I also could be talked into a Scooby-Doo, which is a phrase I learned from you, Felix. Scooby-Doo. So having a conversation with my friend Christina about the aliens. I think when they announce themselves to the public in the year 2050, I think they're going to pick Subaru as their land-based terrestrial transport. Why? Well, it's fun to say. And they're the only car company that has a reasonable naming convention. I imagine aliens have this super big brain logic. I'm imagining the aliens that we meet are probably going to be like the Vulcans, like in the movie Star Trek First Contact. The Vulcans are the most like the humans. They kind of see us as like their fun, drunk cousins of a species, and they want to come show us the purity of logic and stop all this fighting nonsense. Felix says it's Porsche. What's up, L? How you doing, Eliezer? My man. Thanks for hopping in the Tomcast today. I miss you. Mi amor. Eliezer, I want to sing you songs. My friend, if you have Disney Plus, have you shown Ezra the Three Caballeros? The Three Caballeros, the sombreros, Dude, I love that movie as a kid, and I'm watching it now, and Disney has a warning at the beginning of the Three Caballeros. Something to the effect of this is ethnically unsensitive, but we're showing it anyway because of the history. It's an important history lesson. Yo, Felix, I saw this car in a garage that had a wing, shit you not, that was like this big in the back of it. It was enormous. Dude, did you see the Travis Pastrana Gymkhana video? Oh, Annapolis? That's down the road from me. That's only like 90 minutes away. That video was so dope. Gymkhana. Travis Pastrana. It just makes sense. It just... the guy's a nut. Freaking love him, though. I got to meet him a couple times at the X Games. Super sweet guy. Just all love and positivity. He's big goofball. He's like if Shaggy was like a moto head. You know, Scooby and Shaggy. Scooby Shaggy, Scooby Shaggy. That's a British joke, right? That's the... I like me some stand-up from Eddie Izzard. Eddie Izzard's a executive transvestite comic. It sounds risque. He's actually very funny. He likes history. He makes jokes about Star Wars, Darth Vader in a canteen. Very funny jokes. But he has a bit about Scooby and Shaggy being the international credit card. International credit card. Who was I talking to about classic cars? Someone has a Mustang. Oh, I was talking to Max Remington, guy from Breakaway Games. What's up, L? What do you say? All good, me too. L says, of course, of cause. Felix says, yep, I think Brad was somewhere in there. Yeah, my man. You think Brad was part of the shoot? Of the Gymkhana video? Oh, I miss Brad. I love Brad. I send him messages of stuff I'm looking at, what I'm up to, like cool music videos I see that make me think of his stuff. Hey, were you, Felix, if you're still out there, were you involved in the X-Wing car ship project? Because I got to do the storyboards for Brad on that, and that was really fun. I would love to do, I mean, I look back on those boards and I didn't spend enough time on them. They're pretty simple. I just busted out some pencil drawings. And looking back on it, like I could do so much better, and if I just spend more time. Like I think I have the skill set for the stuff. I like to get the idea out as fast as possible. And I don't really spend the time on it too much. There's too many video games I gotta play. It's too many video games. What would be a good color to bounce off this red? Like I want to go with some kind of green, some kind of like grass. I don't know, something like that. Something like that. Felix says he was doing behind the scenes. Oh, sick, sick. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Dude, those Gymkhana videos are dope. I like the idea of guerrilla filmmaking. I did some filmmaking study when I was in college, some documentary verite type stuff. We had this teacher. She was crazy. I think she hated me. We had this video teacher named Jane Cottis from somewhere in the old country. Jane Cottis. Cottis for Americans, but in English speak Cottis. And she was this badass filmmaker who thought I was an asshole. But occasionally I would do something that was like accidentally good. And she was like, wait, did you intend to do that? That was pretty good. Like I was on the light rail going through Baltimore. I did this little filmmaking thing and I overlaid what I was seeing out the window with where the train was going. And she's like, wow, that's really beautiful. Like you might not have intended that, but that was really good. Felix said, not X-Wing, but the Vader car. I left Hot Wheels just before the X-Wing was done. Right on. Okay. I remembered something like that. The Vader car was dope. Wasn't that done by that custom shop? Or did you guys do it? West Coast Customs? Didn't they do the Vader car? I think it was I'm vaguely remembering a TV show that did the Vader car. Dude, I was watching the Clone Wars TV show, and the last episode that's got Vader in it. It's kind of funny how, isn't it funny, like, Star Wars was a big blockbuster, but the fan base got niche and got super nerdy. But now it's like everything, like Disney is just doubled, tripled, 10 times doubling down on it. This is the Vader car I'm thinking of. Maybe your Vader car was different. No, not that one, he says. All us. Oh, all right. Huh. Let's go look up that one. Because that West Coast Customs Vader car looks like an Audi or something. Oh, right. Oh, the Jay Leno garage. Are you in this Jay Leno one? Wait, this is the one you're in. No, this is someone. This is cool. I'm gonna get the video delisted for putting too much YouTube on. All right, I gotta watch that video later. Maybe I haven't seen this one. Dude, that Jay Leno garage thing is fascinating. I was a big Howard Stern fan, and like Howard was like a Letterman guy, not a Leno guy. So I used to have this mental block for liking Jay Leno for a long time. And then the garage thing came out. I was like, oh, that's what he should be doing. The car, like, 100% get that. Love the episode with Rogan on it. Felix says no, he was not in an episode. Why am I? I've seen something with you in videos, and maybe I'm conflating. Yeah, I don't want to piss off Felix. He's like this powerful, handsome British guy, and he plays a mean bass. Don't want to upset him by linking him to content he was not a part of. Dude, I think you should do what I'm doing right now. Just talk and draw, because that'd be fun. I like listening to you speak English correctly. So I don't know much about this rally car stuff. I mean, I think it looks cool, but I don't know like the details of it, the inner workings. I think it's really cool when people who know a lot about the subject matter like nerd out on it. That's fun. And like you don't have to be a nerd yourself to appreciate somebody else nerding out about a subject matter that you're interested in. Let's get a little reflected red up in here. This is kind of fun. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to flip the canvas to make sure that everything makes sense. Image rotation, flip horizontal. El, you still out there? Eliezer's doing some drawing today, I'm sure. Dude, I was watching that Three Caballero show, and I thought of you. We have to have a conversation about that. So I didn't think it was offensive. I just thought it was celebrating. I thought it was celebrating Latin culture. You had the Brazilian bird, you had the Mexican bird, it had the penguin at one point talking about, people from Antarctica, which there aren't any, but it was still kind of fun. Look, Disney used to make movies involving the Nazis. You got to go back and watch the Werner von Braun early Man in Space videos, 1955. It's pretty wild, man. You realize like our entire space program was a bunch of Nazis for a while, but they knew what was up when it comes to outer space. All right, I think I like this angle a little bit better. We're gonna go with we're gonna stick on this side here. We'd love to see some tips and tricks from Felix someday. Tips and tricks how to draw cars video. That'd be dope. See, I like making a mess just so someone can correct me. I might say some inappropriate wrong speak just so that the right news bubbles up. I just say crazy stuff until Felix is like, no, 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 this is the way you gotta do it. Thanks for hanging out, ladies and gentlemen. We're 30 minutes in. Brooke likes the video, Rob Flack likes the video, and KT Benta Wallen likes the video. Thanks, you three. Brooke, I tuned into your stream yesterday for a little bit on Cyberpunk, and that was fun. I watched you do the makeup on the character, and that was really interesting because you're really good at makeup. I hope you know that. It's impressive. That's like what you do is look good, look ridiculously good looking. And then your thought process of going through and picking what your character was going to look like. Those graphics are sick. And I'm in this industry. And I'm impressed constantly. I'm impressed. But also I know what that kind of stuff costs to make. Like that character creator is probably like $5 million of character creator, content just for that. Programming, art scan, like body scans, character scans. Woo! It was pretty funny. There were some parts of that. I don't want to give any spoilers to people who are going to go play Cyberpunk. Definitely adults only. Cyberpunk. There is some mature content. Anyone in art school is like, yeah, whatever. It's like every life drawing class on a Tuesday. But Cyberpunk, I'm really curious, man. I know it's going to be buggy. I'm probably going to play it next year. Wait for the graphics cards to come down in price, get an upgrade to like a 2080 or something, some NVIDIA card. What are y'all jazzed about? What Star Wars are you excited about right now? Post in the comments. Are you watching Mando? Are you excited for um, some of the new characters? Are you excited for a Bad Batch TV show, cartoon movie thing? I'm kind of excited about a the Bad Batch cartoon stuff. I love making of content, behind the scenes content. Love it. So when they did the gallery, which was the behind the scenes, like 8 episodes of how they made Mando, it's just 100% in it. 100% in it. Yo, all right. Self critique time. What do I like? What do I not like about this? I think the wheels could come a little bit higher. I'm gonna copy this image. Let's just grab everything. What is it? Control A for select all. Control Shift C to select visible. Control V. So that way I just have a new layer. I'm gonna warp this thing a little bit. I'm gonna select the car, and I learned this from my friend Piero McGowan, very talented concept artist, to go to the warp tool, and then I'm just gonna play around with the perspective a little bit. And you have this FFD box, and you can click and drag anywhere within this selection area, and it's like a little control to manipulate that shape. So I can get it a little bit more exaggerated. That's kind of fun. You know, give it a little bit more character like Felix's drawings. So that's something I do a lot, I guess, is like I start with a very loose idea and then I'll push and pull and edit it until it's something that's fun. I'll also change the color a whole lot. I'm not too precious with stuff. Okay, so let's keep that, and I could turn on the layers behind and see if this is an improvement or not. And I think it is an improvement. I'm going to stick with it. This is pretty fun. All right. We're going to stick with that. Thanks for joining, ladies and gentlemen. This is fun. Glad I got Felix's attention today. Wanted to share the love. Glad Elle popped in. Glad everyone else is liking the video and hanging out. What are you doing this weekend? Anything fun? We got good weather. I'm probably going to go to the range with my buddy. Got some new sights on one of my pieces on my blaster. Pretty excited about that. Let's do some like light caps in here. I don't know what to color that. So one of the challenges about the way I work is when I'm doing this like sketchy brainstorming way, it's hard to go get tight again. Like, I think it takes more work to start loose and tighten instead of starting tight and going to loose. But everyone has their own process. I recommend you trying both things if you're an artist. Start really loose and tighten up, or go really tight and loose. What you could do at this point is, start another layer, make it like 80%, and then draw on top of this. Use that brainstorming as an underpainting. See, look how quickly I got that underpainting, just an idea together in about 30 minutes. So maybe at this point you get out a nice tight line brush or pen kind of thing, and then you can like trace over and get your like tightened line work in. That might be a way to solve your problems. Plus, it's a good way to brainstorm too. Like drawing over something else, the paint over is an important part of the brainstorming process. Taking an idea and then by flipping it and drawing over it a different way, you might come up with something that's different than what you expected before or like thought you could do before. Like some of the shapes in this car are kind of Mandalorian. Not, what am I saying? DeLorean. There's someone on Instagram posted a video of Mandalorian and his DeLorean, and it's like a Boba Fett reenactor next to like a stainless steel car, Back to the Future style. Dude, I love all the lights. I want more lights on all of my things. That's just what I want. I think that's cool. I think the rally car aesthetic is really cool. It's kind of tactical, it's kind of adventure-y. Like the Venn diagram that is like outdoor sports and recreation and military. That's that's the good stuff. Like that overlap is what I get really excited about. And then maybe what's a third overlap here? Sci-fi. You know, put let's whatever happens in this area, I get really excited about. Really excited about. Let's minimize that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sing you a song now from the past. Fly me to the moon. Let me swing among the stars. Okay, so I got a line here. I want the line to go up, maybe. So I don't know. See, I don't have a degree in industrial design or anything, so I'm struggling a little bit with what these shapes should be. I know Volkswagen does like a bunch of ground effect type stuff, but that doesn't make sense on this car here. I kind of like maybe the idea of a skid plate would be a little bit more exciting. Because if this is like a rally vehicle, maybe that'll be kind of cool. Something like that. Something like that. We're just going to do an hour today, I think. I think we'll wrap this up at noon. What's up, Drew? Thanks for hopping in, buddy. What's shaking? What's shaking? I stopped by your bros last week. Gonna have a little project with him. Really excited about that. Really, really excited. Can't talk too much about it. But always love the O'Hara clan. Thank you, Drew, my #1 fan, for hopping in. I was hoping you'd hop in today. I was wondering when I'd see you. So this is drawing cars, Drew, in honor of Felix Holst. Felix is a professional car designer guy. He's an artist from England, and he does really dope work. And he inspired me to draw a car today from his Instagram. His Instagram's awesome. You should follow it, Felix Holst. I should probably, you know what? I should just put a link in the chat so you all can see it. And on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, when I post this again, I'll put the link there as well. Drew says, same old, same old. Was missing the Tomcast. Can't wait to see what you're doing with Dust. Yes. Well, it's more like what Dust is doing for me. I'm just asking for it and giving him some moolah for it and for Corinne's college fund. Love me some cool cars, Drew says. Drew says, love some cool cars. Video is reconnecting. Good. Good, good. Yeah, it's good if you're an artist. It's good to have little models, little toys and stuff you can draw. So if you're brain dead someday, you can just draw from observation. I'm learning as I get older, not everybody has the same sense of imagination. That imagination can come from different places. It can be more emotionally based. For me, it's very visual. I can take ideas that I hear and then visualize them based on things I've seen in my life or things I can imagine through science fiction. I don't know, parameter editing and stuff. My exposure to the tools in the video game world, I think have given me some wild ideas for like how to render things and how to see the world around me. Drew says, love some cars. What's your favorite car of all time, Drew? What's your favorite car of all time? Right now. Dude, did you see the Gymkhana video with Travis Pastrana? Annapolis? That video is so sick. It's pretty wild how if you just have enough money, you can pay the police to break the laws and give you escorts. I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting. But I like the police. I'm pro cop, big time pro police. But I'm not a fascist. There's an important distinction. But then again, I think like some people who use the word fascist, like, are just nonconformists who just want, like, not negative anarchy, but I think a lot of people just think that if government goes away, people will be fine. I really think the majority of people who call themselves anarchists and nonconformists and stuff, like, aren't bad people. I just think that they have a weird sense. Like, I just don't think they live in reality. But I love them. I love everybody for the most part. I try to see things from everyone's point of view. Video games are a great way to see that. Like, you can experience someone else's point of view through playing through an experience, an interactive experience or a VR experience that takes place from their point of view. I really think that they have the thought that this, like, with order comes oppression. And I think that there's just crazy people out there who have really bad behavior that ruins the life experience for other people. And I think they're just I think you got to have some rules. And if you have rules, you have to have a body to enforce those rules. And also, like, to arrest people who, commit really bad crimes. I don't think the American prison system is ideal. I think the war on drugs should definitely end. I'm really excited that Congress is talking about decriminalization of marijuana and more research. And I absolutely think more, especially for veterans, like any kind of, I hear psychedelics. I learned this from the Joe Rogan show, that there's research into psychedelics helping with PTSD. I think that's great. It's definitely got to be better than just opioids, like just an addiction, like a lifestyle of being addicted to painkillers. Let's try something else. Drew says 68 Mustang. Yeah, man. Why? This is such a classic. The Mustang is so freaking classic. Why? Why is it this, like, wonderful universal thing that everyone freaking loves? I imagine there's some golden section kind of elements in it. There's probably some universal proportions that have been drawn into this, like the ratio of 1 to 1.6. My friend Dorian said a lot of the lines and shapes were inspired by aerospace. There's a line in aerospace where it's basically, if it looks good, it'll probably fly good. It's like a general rule of thumb. If the plane is beautiful, it probably will fly beautiful too. Kind of like how birds work and fish, these elegant lines. The classic example, the Spitfire, Supermarine Spitfire, England's interceptor during World War II. Gorgeous, beautiful plane. And according to people who flew it was a very nice plane to fly. The evolution of the Spitfire, when the Spitfire, the Merlin engine combined with the American mass production style and turbochargers, granted the P-51 Mustang. So this Mustang probably took some inspiration from let's look at that. Let's have a conversation about that. P-51 Mustang. Someone must have posted a picture of a Mustang with a Mustang. That's gotta exist, right? Drew says, but not a slant back. Oh, my internet is like chugging today. Chugging. All right, so we got a P-51 Mustang right here. And that's pretty. I don't think the Mustang is a very practical, fast interceptor. It's got those drop tanks, which allowed it to escort deep into German territory over World War II, escort the bombers as they dropped their bombs on the industrial and civilian population of Germany, and fought the Luftwaffe. So something about that, like, the nose is kind of similar to, like, the raised hood, and then you have this bubble canopy, which is sharp in the front and then curved on the top. That's what I would guess. And then the shape, something about the shape of this wing. So it's like aerospace, the DoD, they come up with whatever looks dope. And whatever the aerospace industry is doing one year, a decade later, the auto industry will replicate. And I think an example of that also might be the F-117, Nighthawk. You know, you see the shapes and lines of the F-117, which is this faceted, high-tech, futuristic stealth airplane we used in the 80s and 90s. And you can compare that against like a Lambo. Is it the Countach? Lambo Kush. That's not what I'm looking for. Lamborghini. I don't know how to spell it. Thank you, Google. Yeah, this kind of stuff. So you see, like there was some, if you can remember the F-117, and then you look at some of the lines of the 83 Countach. You know what though? This might not make sense because I think the F-117 was still top secret at the time. This actually looks more like, there were other aircraft in the same era. Maybe like a Tomcat. This might have more lines in common with a Tomcat. Let's go look that up. F-14 Tomcat. We love Top Gun, don't we? Tom Cruise and Top Gun. I can't wait for Top Gun 2. Yeah, look at, so this is interesting. There's a lot of similar lines between the Tomcat and the Countach. You've got curved surfaces and straight surfaces, and there's a little bit of, you have this big flat back section between the two engines, and then there's like the flat front with the curvy section around the wheels. I think there's some correlation here. Anyway, this is not my theory. This is Dorian's theory, that automobiles follow aerospace. Drew says long nose bubble top. Yeah, that might be it. That might be as simple as it is. We got some, like, who else likes the video? Oh, it's just Drew and Brooke like the video. Awesome. Thanks for hanging out. We got 9 more minutes to make it an hour. I think that's all the words I have for today. So let's wrap up this drawing. So I'm going to finish up this brainstorming part of the video. Let's put some more details, put a little light down here. I kind of like this shape. This is very experimental. We're going to keep it loose. We're brainstorming. The hood is going to be its own thing. We're putting a supercharger in here because that's cool. Superchargers are dope. It's going to do like a 2-port supercharger. I don't know how superchargers work. I just know that they do. So we're going to have, I think it'll be cool if the main headlight has its own housing, and then the yellow light is going to be kind of mounted or bolted on top of the grill. There's going to be the badge which says Felix, because we're dedicating this to him today, and then going to make some like vent pattern doohickeys. Let's do a line there. That'd be fun. This is pretty dope. Feeling pretty good about this, ladies and gentlemen. And then that goes there, that goes there. Let's, I don't know what this shape would be. Something like that, not really sure. Okay, let's think about our wheel just a little bit. Trying to plan it out. What do we think? I don't know. Something like that. Do we want to spoil? Let's just do a little spoiler. A little spoiler. Back there. Fun. I don't know how the suspension really works, but I'll just put a little spring in there anyway. Something like that. be fun. Something I especially love about Felix is how he says my sister's name. My sister's name is Molly, one of my two sisters, and the British always say Molly. Oh, how's Molly doing? It's funny, it's a little different. So this is fun. So doing the draw over has given me a little bit more persona in this drawing. So let's see before. It's kind of like clay, chunky, a little bit mushy, I want to say. And then doing the draw over, it has a little bit more tightness to it. So now how do we integrate all these things? Well, first of all, let's save our file. Save, I just don't know what I'll call it something. What happens if I turn that off? Okay, let's, how do I want to do it? Well, I could just pick the colors from the underpainting. Let's make a new copy version of that. And I can just sample colors I have there, go to my paintbrush, and we can just work back into what's here and just fix up that area a little bit. I might go a little bit lighter. Let's think, what's the base color of this vehicle going to be? Maybe just start with like a middle warm gray. Middle, yeah, it's a little light gray there, and go 40%, and just, let's go maybe 30%. Lightly go over everything just a little bit, just to see what's here. Just give it a little cohesive, kind of matching color for the whole thing. You know, why not? Let's flip the canvas one more time just to see how we're doing. Image, edit, what is it? Image rotation, flip canvas horizontal. Let's crop it in a little bit. Something like that. It's a little chubby guy. It's a chubby guy. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cute. All right, let's select some colors. All right, so now the wheels are very different now. So I'll get that purple, kind of violet, dark gray, and get the tires repainted there. Let's do that there, tires like this. So I got the tip of my pen, the first button is the Alt modifier. That way when I'm using the brush tool, I can quickly switch to the color picker. So I can pick color. Let's do like a sky kind of thing going on. Just out in Denver, ladies and gentlemen, and the sky out there against the golden grass, just so beautiful. The green trees versus, you know, whatever, green trees against the sky, against the bright blue sky. It's just this vibrating, beautiful color. Just kind of pop in some of that. What do we think, Felix? You still out there? Hey, Sven's here. What's up, Sven? Thanks for tuning in, dude. Car like that looks like it would have a tow hook or a winch of sorts for more utility, unless it's not its purpose. You know, a winch is a good idea. Winch tow hook thing. That's not a bad idea. But usually rally cars don't have a winch in the front that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. Drew says he's always wanted to fly a jet. Now, I'd be happy with just a ride. I'd puke, but love it. Yeah, man. For sure, for sure. I got to fly in a B-25 Mitchell once. I got a free ride in a twin-engine bomber, World War II, and that was really cool. I got to sit in the bombardier spot. You have to crawl through a little tunnel to get to it. Had to crawl through a little tunnel to get to it. Thanks for tuning in, Sven. How are you doing, man? What are you up to? Are you playing Cyberpunk this weekend? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on it because I'm worried about bugs. You know, I like an RPG every once in a while, but it's not my like go-to though. I like a little bit more action. I'm still playing Company of Heroes with my buddy Steve. Game's like 15 years old, but we still love playing it. Just 2v2 comp stomp. Me and Steve versus the AI. when we got to smack down some Nazis every once in a while. And after we smack down the Nazis, then we got to play as the Germans to go smack down the Allies and show them the beauty of a Porsche transmission and Heinschel armor system. Yeah, the Germans came up with some cool stuff. Little known fact that after the war, you know, the English and the British pretty much had the Germans design all our new weapons for us and like completely redesign our armor mobility program. We're like, hey, what's that thing you were doing? What's that Blitzkrieg thing all about? You got to teach us about that. I listened to a lecture by former Navy and Blackwater contractor Ben Mookie Thomas. Controversial guy, but I think he has a good heart. You know, warfighter. He was at him and Travis Haley held down the diplomatic compound against the Mahdi army in Iraq in 2004. It's famously on YouTube. It's called the Turkey Shoot. Travis Haley and Ben Mookie Thomas were working for Blackwater, protecting a ambassador or something against the Mahdi army, and it was all on video. This firefight that they got into on a roof. Travis Haley is the sniper, and Ben was the spotter. But anyway, Ben was talking about how Army learned about maneuver warfare from Joachim Piper, General Piper, who was a savage, like SS commander, but he knew a thing or two about moving tanks around. A full fanatic. But, you know, sometimes you need to, you know, if you want to be the best, you got to learn from the best, no matter what their politics are. Drew says they do have tow hooks. Okay, so would they be down here? In this area, maybe? I mean, what's that old phrase? Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. If you can interrogate your enemy and find out how they beat you, you know why? That's the idea. That's why like people take martial classes, like defense, you know, self-defense classes from people who have been in a fight or two. You want to know what the right way to do it is. I want to get that book by Varg Freeborn about violence, and just to be aware of it, just to be aware of the context of the world we live in. Look, the odds of coming into a violent confrontation in the United States of America are statistically very low. Like, all these calls for civil war this year are just bonkers. Just people are bonkers. You got to go watch Ken Burns' documentary on the Civil War, and it's whole nother podcast. Don't get Tom started talking about armed conflict. I mean, it's fun to think about. It's a fun mental exercise, and it's a fun for like narrative storytelling. Like, let's make a scenario. Let's come up with a video game. Let's come up with a board game, and some future conflict scenario that we have to work through. I mean, who doesn't war game that stuff? Dan Carlin, Hardcore History, talked about before World War II, the United States had wargaming scenarios about fighting England, about fighting Canada. Like, what happens if England and the Germans ally? We have to have a plan in case that eventuality happens, even if the chance of that happening is 1 in a million. That's some people's jobs in Washington, is just like coming up with what if kind of stuff. Like, what if, you know, scenario. There's a bunch of invasion plans of Canada. There's invasion plans of Mexico. There's invasion plans for everything. What happens if the Russians, you know, park nuclear subs off of the Bering Strait and then mount a land invasion of Canada and then come through the roof or something in 1955? Come through the roof. What does Sven say? Sven says, makes sense to enlist the researchers, but it bothers me that many war criminals basically got a great job after the war without repercussions. It's fair. Interrogation versus a promotion are quite different. Right. Sven. Well, I want to go to Germany someday, Sven. Maybe you know that. Maybe I mentioned it. And I think, who made a really funny joke? Someone, maybe it might have been Eddie Izzard. Like, instead of sending United States, U.S. troops into Iraq to, like, rebuild the country, we should have sent German and Japanese troops. Look, we've been through this before. Let's help you rebuild. I think Eddie Izzard made that joke. Sven says, oh no, there's not going to be a civil war. That notion seems silly. Yeah, I mean, there's low level, there's like gang warfare. I mean, it's it's like, how do you categorize Civil War? Like, is gang warfare the same as Civil War? Like, you could argue that, but it's not 1861, the North versus the South. You know. Sven says, but then again, if 2020 taught me anything, it's that anything is possible. I think there's the phrase, the veneer of civilization. I was watching Lex Fried. Want to give a shout out to someone who's way smarter than me, Lex Friedman. His podcast is pretty amazing. He's a bit dry. He's a Russian scientist researcher at MIT who's doing stuff with AI and self-driving cars. And he was talking to this guy, this Greek fellow, about the evolution. It was episode 113. Let me get it right. I thought it was really inspirational talking about brain stuff and evolution. Lex Friedman 113. Manolis Kellis. Lex Friedman podcast, Manolis Kellis, talking about like human evolution and stuff. It's really interesting. Made me think like this neocortex that all our consciousness is in is just exclusive to humans for the most part. Primates have a little thin one, I believe. But the neocortex of our brain is fighting against the 120 million years of evolution that is our brainstem. So, and in our genetic code is 99% primal by our standards, and our 1% Homo sapien genetics is constantly fighting against the 99% primal animal. I think that's interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a good time on the podcast. Feel free to message me. I love the conversations we have in here. I love that y'all coming in and saying, what up? Glad we got Felix in the broadcast today. I'm down to do a Zoom hang. I can work parties. If you want to hire me to draw draw for some 2-year-olds, hey, let's draw cars today. I could be convinced to do that for a very nominal fee, very small nominal fee. Let's throw some orange on here for Felix. He loves the color orange. Something like that. The skid plate's going to be maybe highly reflective. See, what happens is I start talking and I forget what I'm doing. The important thing is showing y'all how to draw. Something like that. A little darkening in there, and a little bit of this blue or gray on the just a little highlight. Just a little highlight there. A little reflector down here. It's cool. Something like that. It's kind of fun. A little shadow in there. Darken that a bit. Let's get some red in the turbo. I don't know how this thing works. Just gonna make some marks for fun. Now at this point, I might like paint on top of everything to paint out some of the lines. Let's get some like smoke and dust and stuff. So we'll go onto a layer above everything else. Little green reflection in the body here, just to like pick up a little bit of that green as it drives by. Drew says, one of the keys to the Tomcast is the discussion. That's right. Sven says, then we also share 45% of our DNA with bananas, so I don't know what that means. This shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-Annas. Gwen Stefani, ladies and gentlemen. I used to listen to that with Dorian. We're working on Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword. Little known fact, 45% of Beyond the Sword was made while listening to Gwen Stefani's B-A-N-A-N-A-Annas song. I think the entire Final Frontier scenario was made under the influence of Gwen Stefani. That was a crazy project, ladies and gentlemen. That was me sleeping at the office, drinking a lot of Red Bull, sometimes vodka, and we did two or three total art conversions of Civilization 4 in like 12 months, like a 12-month period. That was fun. That was intense, but I should have been spending more time hanging out with my college buddies instead of all my time at Firaxis. Still was good though. Still was good. We made a pretty damn good game. John Schaefer's Final Frontier scenario was pretty good. Pretty good. Sci-fi. Kind of got buried in that expansion pack. Like the least played Civ game ever, probably. So there's going to be, because the windows are in the car, like everything through the window glass is going to be a little bit darker. Painting glass. Oh, I need a driver. This thing's moving. We need someone drive it. Who's driving this car? Gotta get a dude in there. Let's paint a face. Maybe just a little part of a face. What are we at? What? 1 minute 10, an hour 10. I just keep. It's hard to stop. Having too much fun, ladies and gentlemen. Having too much fun. Hope you guys are having a good time out there. This is kind of fun. I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are having a good time. Let's get a little helmet on this guy. A little Speed Racer helmet. Darker on top because there's shadow. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Would have been good to draw this guy out. Not really. Just keep him kind of stylized, I think. Just doing like simple planes of the face type stuff. And see if that holds up enough. Is that good? That's something. It's not great. Just gonna keep it simple here. Just simple dude. Simple dude. Yeah, got some car action. It's good to draw over some of our lines too. So sometimes where it's black, we're just gonna hit it with a nice highlight. What isn't there like caps? It's like RC or something. This is flipped, so let's flip it back again. Wait, it's British, so maybe this is correct. We got the wheel on the other side. For Felix. Good day, Sir Brandon the Wonderful. Brandon's here. Thanks, Brandon, for saying hello. Sven says, back of side mirrors are often in the accent color. Back of side mirrors is often in the accent color. Does that mean you want some orange right here? I mean, I could put some, does that make sense? Is that cool? I don't know. It's fun. This is art. As Bob Ross might say, you can make it whatever you want. Just want to paint a happy little tree, then you can paint a happy little tree. Put it right over there. Yeah, so we're just doing that. Let's go to that. And I think this is pretty good for today, ladies and gentlemen. I had a great time. Thanks for joining me today. This was super fun. Hope this inspires you to make some artwork. Maybe you just like watching me ramble and hang out and be a friend to you today. So thanks for being my friend, ladies and gentlemen, and hanging out with Tom on the Tomcast day. And remember to drink your tea and think of the Queen. You know, keep the Queen in your thoughts in this trying time. I'm sure the Queen's worried about COVID And long live the Queen. Long live the Queen. It's weird, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a new monarch in our lifetime. Isn't that weird? I think it's super weird. I mean, we've just had the Queen forever. Queen's been pretty great. I mean, pretty benign monarch, right? I don't know. I would love to know what Felix thinks about the Queen and the royalty and the royal family. I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It's kind of this meaningless, I don't know, thing. Maybe it's meaningful. Maybe it's meaningful. I don't know. To me, it's just like fun entertainment. Like, did you ever think, like, why is, Princess Leia a princess? Did they ever establish what her royalty really is? It's very confusing in Star Wars. Like, Queen Amidala, is she, like, still royalty even though it's an elected position? It's very confusing and inconsistent. It'd be nice if there was some consistency in the Star Wars galaxy. I feel like it would help the average person get into it if it made more sense. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This was fun. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm going to wrap it up there. Let's do the signature. Tom Symonds. Tom Symonds. There it is. Boom. This was fun. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you guys had a good time. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Weather should be great. And feel free to message me. Let me know what you did with your weekend. Take care, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Sven, Brandon, L, Drew, Felix, and I think Rook said hi, and a few other people liked the video. And thank you all on YouTube for tuning in and checking out the Tomcast. Catch you next time.